It was supposed to be an ordinary Tuesday at the Daedalus Gallery, a private, invitation-only museum nestled on a remote cliffside just outside San Francisco. Only a few patrons visited each day, and even fewer knew of its real prize, the Crystal Ark, a one-of-a-kind glass sculpture valued at over $400 million. So delicate it was kept behind 3 layers of soundproof, pressure-regulated, and motion-sensitive glass. That morning, as the fog rolled in from the ocean, the Ark vanished. No alarms, no damage, no suspects. Only a message left etched in acid-free ink on the inside of the display case: "Art that stays still is dead, Kairo." By noon, federal agents were already at the gallery, reviewing camera feeds and questioning staff. The case was unlike anything they'd seen. The Ark hadn't been stolen, it had disappeared. The lead investigator, Special Agent Layla Monroe, had been tracking this name Kairo for 3 years. A myth in the black market art world: no fingerprints, no confirmed sightings. Only impossible crimes, committed without violence. Priceless works of art disappearing into thin air, always replaced with a cryptic signature and a riddle. This time, however, Kairo had crossed a line. The Crystal Ark wasn't just a sculpture. It was also a biometric key, encoded with the DNA of its creator and tied to a government contract. If decrypted, it could access secure data servers buried deep under Quantico. This wasn't just theft, it was infiltration. What Layla didn't know was that the heist had begun a year ago, when a blind sound engineer named Nova Quinn was hired to audit the gallery's acoustic system. She was part of Kairo's crew. A prodigy of sound waves and frequencies, Nova designed a way to mimic the atmospheric pressure in the vault, using directional white noise, fooling the sensors for exactly 14 seconds. Then there was Jet, a former magician with a criminal record and a prosthetic arm that hid a laser-thin glass cutter. He posed as an art handler for months, slowly altering the curvature of the motion sensors by adjusting their outer casings, millimeter by millimeter, so slowly no one noticed. 1 week before the heist, they were too misaligned, enough to make them useless. Inez, a forger and deep-fake artist, hacked the gallery's guest list, inserting a fake art historian scheduled to give a lecture that morning. It was her own twin sister, posing as a scholar from Vienna. That gave them the perfect distraction and full access to the vault area. And Kairo, no one knew what he looked like, only that when he moved, everyone else was already playing catch-up. At 10:44 a.m., precisely when the fog hit its thickest, the heist began. Inez gave her lecture in the main atrium. Guests gathered, guards were posted near the crowd. Nova activated a subsonic frequency that caused temporary confusion in nearby birds, sending a flock smashing into the west side windows. As security rushed to investigate, Jet entered the vault hallway using an ID badge he created weeks ago with microchips extracted from discarded access cards. He only had 14 seconds. Inside the vault, Nova's frequency synced with the gallery's sensors, stabilizing the air pressure. Jet placed a mirrored decoy in the case. Using his prosthetic arm, he slid the real sculpture into a vacuum-sealed canister lined with vibration-dampening gel. All done in silence. By the time the guards returned, nothing had changed except the sculpture was no longer real. 2 hours later, as Layla Monroe reviewed the surveillance footage, she noticed something strange. Everyone on staff was accounted for except one. The janitor. No one knew when he'd started. No one ever looked at his face. He just pushed a cart through the hallways, head down, hoodie up. But when she zoomed in on the footage, she froze. The reflection on a piece of polished marble showed a man with no face, just a mask made of glass shards. That was Kairo. She rewound the feed. This time, she saw the janitor pause in front of the sculpture's case, just minutes before it disappeared. He simply stood there, listening, and then he walked away. By sunset, every port, airfield, and highway within 300 miles was being monitored. But Kairo's crew didn't run. They stayed in the city. The Crystal Ark was hidden in plain sight inside an art gallery across town, embedded into a new sculpture that had just been donated anonymously. By the time agents located the piece, it had already been sold and shipped to Dubai. Layla received a postcard the next morning. It was blank, except for a number printed in tiny glass beads, 14.01 megahertz. She played the frequency over her speakers. It was silent, but Nova would have heard it. And she would have smiled. Some say Kairo doesn't exist. That he's just a ghost, an idea shared by those tired of watching beauty locked behind vaults. But those who know the truth know this: Kairo isn't one person. He's a system, a whisper, a perfect reflection. And when the next masterpiece vanishes, the message will be the same: stillness is a lie.